Okay, so thought I'd make a little video. This is my rear light. So I know someone asked a question about the 300 lumen Lezyne light, but I've only got the 150. So if I make the video on this light, all you got to do is think about it'll be twice as bright. The battery life might be a little bit better because it says I think 50 hours on the box for the 300, and this only says 30 hours, 30 minutes on this one. But it all depends on what setting you have it in anyway, so you might not need to have it that bright. So from the front of the box it does say the same instructions as the 300, exactly the same. I've used this now for about a year, so I know what it's like, but I've just had the box anyway. So it comes like that, but mine's already made up. Inside the box you've got the instructions on how to set it up, but I'll show you that, it's really easy. And on the back of the box you've got the settings and the runtime. So on this one I got all these different settings. There's a couple of flash, a couple that stay on full brightness. The lowest one's 5 lumens and the brightest is obviously 150. So I sort of have it on a bit of a mixture one. So I won't have it on so it runs as long as possible, but there's no point of having a bike light that you can't see it. So what's the point of having 5 lumen? That's just, you won't see that at all, because you never know, it might be raining, dark. The car can see even further away, it's safer. So I drive quite late at night as well sometimes. So I normally have it on something like a 5-hour one. So there's these 3 settings, or a 6-hour one there. So you've got 20 lumens, 25 lumens. If you've got a 45 lumens, you're only getting an hour and a half. Well, most of my bike rides are 2 hours anyway. So because I use my bike light on the day as well, day, night, all the time, just a bit of safety. It doesn't cost anything to press a button, turn your bike light on. It's not going to cost you anything in aerodynamics because it's behind the back of the seat. It weighs pretty much nothing. If you're worried about that much weight, then you just go on a diet and just lose, well, it's not even, well, I don't know how many grams that is. Yeah, so that's on the back of the box. Here's the light. It's pretty cool. Haven't dropped it or anything, but it's pretty sturdy, pretty strong. On and off button at the top. If you press it just once, a little green light comes on, just to say how much charge you got left. So green means it's quite good. It will go red when it's quite low. You've got this rubber strap which just goes around the back of the seat post, or I suppose if you wanted to, you could put it down the back of any of the bars really. In the back of the light there's different grooves there. I think that's so if you've got an aero seat or a square seat or a bit of a round seat, that'll fit your chain stays or whatever, if it'll fit in there. And then the only other thing is at the bottom it's got this little rubber bit. You just pull it off, and then inside it's just got a USB what's it called, male end. So all you got to do is have a plug with USB, stick it in, or stick it into your laptop or any USB socket, and that charges there straight away. Put it back on. I'm not sure if it's completely waterproof. I wouldn't put it in, I wouldn't submerge it underwater to test it, but I've been out in the rain and seems to be fine. Because obviously water drips down and doesn't seem to get in there. When I do wash my bike, I do take it off just to make sure it doesn't get wet. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pause the video and I go and find a dark place, and then I'll do the settings in the dark area so I can see how bright it is. Okay, so I've got my light. Because it's daylight, I can't find a place which is completely dark, but when I turn it on you'll see the effect of the light. The thing with the light is it always turns on the setting you had it on last time, and then if you want to change settings you have to press the button, but you can't change and skip to one setting, you have to scroll through them. So you sort of have to remember what setting's next. I normally find the one I want and then leave it on that setting, and then every time I turn it on it should be the same one. I try and find a mixture between brightness I want but with the battery life I want, because I go on, say if I go on a 2-hour bike ride, I always have the light on even in the day, but I don't want to be charging it up every single time I come back from a bike ride. So once a week or so would be good enough. So trying to find a mixture between brightness and runtime. Okay, so if I turn it on now, I think it should be on the first setting, which is called Blast, 45 lumens, and it should last an hour and a half. So you press it once at the top. Okay, I think that one's called Blast, 45 lumens, hour and a half. The next one then, you press it once. That's called Enduro, which will last a little bit less, 15 lumens, lasts 4.5 hours. This one's called Economy, 3 lumens, 18 hours. Now this is the first flashing one, 25 lumens, lasts 5 hours. This next one lasts 5 hours again, but it's only 15 lumens. So you could get 10 lumens more for the same battery life. So really the setting before that was better. Next setting, 15 lumens, again lasts 5 hours. So them two are both the same. You can pick and choose which one you like. This one, 20 lumens, but lasts 6 hours. So you're better off having this setting than the last one because it's brighter and lasts an hour longer. This last one, I think is the lowest one there is. No, it's not. There's another one. 5 lumens, lasts 17 hours, 45 minutes. This one's now the lowest. 3 lumens, 30 hours, 30 minutes. But it's still quite bright for 3 lumens. Right, the next two are super bright, so I'll turn it away from the camera a little bit. This one is called Day Flash 150. It lasts for 3 hours 15 minutes. So you have a couple of little bleeps and then one big bleep. Last one, 100 lumens, 4 hours 45 minutes. So a couple of little flashes and then the big brush. And then you press it again, goes back to the original start position. When you find a setting you like, any setting you want, you hold it and it'll turn off, and then if you hold it and turn it on again, like I said, it goes back to the same setting, which is your favourite. Hold it, turn it off, and then before you bike ride, just press it once and you got a little green light which will tell you your battery status. If it's orange or red, you know that it needs charging. Okay, so that's the lights. I'm guessing the 300 will just be a bit brighter. A few other settings, maybe different flashing patterns. The running time will be slightly different. It says up to 50 hours, but I'm thinking that'll be the 50 hours on the lower power lumen one. You won't get 50 hours on 300 lumen. But check the back of the box. It'll say the run times, the lumens, the names of the different settings. I'm sure if you Google it, you'll find on the website, it'll probably say what settings it has. But that's my light. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't think you need brighter than a 150 lumen anyway. I have got videos using this light in the dark, and you can see it from miles away. So really, there's no need to go brighter than 150, but if you want the 300, this is just what I got.